Welcome back. I am Captain Crazy.
And I'm Princess.
And this is our RWBY review for Chapter 3 of Volume 1. Just a note, the chapters are a little different on the DVD release which we are following than they are on the Rooster Teeth, whatever it's called, Rooster Teeth on YouTube, who actually came out with the RWBY series. For Chapter 2, they actually split it into two different parts, so a small correction on our last video. It is not a 6-minute chapter. I believe it's either a 10 or 12-minute chapter. It's just split into two different parts.
They did the same with this chapter as well. So this is Chapter 3 on the DVD, but Chapter 4 and 5 online, it's called The First Steps. So,
getting that confusing nonsense out of the way, this is our chapter review for Chapter 3 of the DVD release, or Part 1 and 2 of Chapter... I can't even keep it straight anymore. So yeah, this chapter, a lot of setup. Again, any anime or TV show or movie, the very beginning of it is always set up. If you don't get invested in your characters, then it can be as badass as you want it, but if you're not invested in those characters and care about those characters, by the end, who cares, right? It'll get stale very quickly. So a lot of setup again.
We meet Nora and Ren, and we see a bit of their relationship. They've been friends since before joining Beacon Academy, and you can just see their relationship and how Nora is very fun-loving and bubbly, carefree, and Ren is just a bit more serious and calm and quite complete opposites of each other, but they get along very well.
We see more of Jan and his absent-mindedness and
obsession with Weiss, and he has a big crush on her.
We also learn a little bit of Pyrrha's backstory, how she is the strongest thing ever.
Thing?
Hunter, yes. Huntress coming out of the, I can't even remember what the name of the academy she came out of.
Coming out of the prestigious academy. She also has her own box cereal.
So yeah.
Or featured on a box cereal.
Best thing since sliced bread. That's what I was going for before. Thing. Yes, thing.
Thing.
Bang.
We also find out that first years are arranged into teams shortly after they come to Beacon Academy, and those teams that you spend time with then throughout your entire time at Beacon Academy.
Which we also learned is 4 years.
Yes.
Originally, when they're in the locker room, they all are trying to rearrange themselves and find out their own teams and try to pair up. And then as soon as we get to the launching platforms, we will get to a little bit more of that later, they find out that no, it's more...
random chance.
Random, yeah, a little bit of random chance mixed with their intervention later. They don't get to pick their own teams unless, well, they are really lucky, essentially.
Yeah.
Which brings us to the launching platforms.
Which is exactly what it sounds like.
So the platforms that they stand on literally launch them into the air hundreds and hundreds of feet off a cliff, and they are expected to try to land without dying, in which Jan has no idea how he's going to accomplish this.
It's not much time to come up with a landing strategy, and kind of doesn't. And
asks if they're getting parachutes, and what kind of a landing strategy could he use? Oh no, I'm going to die. So as the characters are launched from the platform, RWBY tries to set herself up to be paired with Yang. They learn from the headmaster that the way they get paired up, or originally get paired up for the first pairing of 4, is the first person that they make eye contact after they land.
Mm-hmm.
So RWBY immediately goes to try to find Yang and meets Weiss. Yes, comes face to face with Weiss.
Weiss wants nothing to do with her, just turns around and starts walking away.
Oh, we missed a part.
We did miss a part.
RWBY, on her way down, takes a little birdie and goes, "Oh, little birdie." It was quite amusing.
Yeah, RWBY doesn't have much aim while she's flying, so she kind of crashes into a bird.
It was pretty badass.
The other characters, Yang, she's just flying along, very carefree, she can aim a little bit where she's going with her guns, but poor RWBY.
Weiss slows herself down, or her descent down with her magic. Then poor Jan. He just free falls, and luckily Pyrrha was there to save the day and throw her spear and pin him into a tree.
Well, when Pyrrha landed, she looked around, to see if there's any enemies nearby, surveyed the area, and the first person she saw was Jan, so she had to go and save him because he was now a team member.
Yeah. So so back to the original of RWBY coming face to face Weiss. While Weiss turned around and promptly walked away and came face to face with Jan and
stuck in a tree.
Promptly turned back around and went, "This doesn't mean we're friends," to RWBY and drags her off, in which RWBY cheers and
"You came back!"
It was an epic moment. So we see that
love it.
Weiss is stuck up, and yeah, she would much prefer the person that blew her up over Jan. Poor Jan.
Mm-hmm.
Poor Jan.
Poor Jan.
The only other thing to happen at the end of this chapter is
the first sighting, or the first that we get to see with the Grimm creatures.
Yes. So the Grimm, after RWBY shows off her speed a little bit to Weiss, Weiss is quickly surrounded by a bunch of bear, wolf-like creatures of Grimm. And that is where the chapter ends. Again, not much happened in this chapter. A lot of introductions.
We're just getting over the introduction part now, so now we get into the main storyline. So,
there's still more introductions. Less and less of the Black Shadow characters. They've slowly introduced us to the more main characters that we will see throughout the series. And this volume has a few more chapters. I believe it's 12 chapters or 13 chapters in all. If you go by the DVD release, it's a few more episodes. We're going to call them episodes from online, because if you call them chapters, there's part 1 and part 2 of a chapter, and then it just gets very confusing.
We're just going to confuse everybody, though, because we keep calling chapters episodes.
So chapter 1 is episode 1, but chapter 2 is episode 2 and 3. Chapter 3 is episode 4 and 5. So we're going to go with chapters on the DVD release and episodes for the online release. I think that's the only way we're going to...
We're not going to remember that.
Again, we can try. So, until our next review, I am Captain Crazy.
And I am Princess.
And we will see you next time.